Detroit's story is America's story, a testament to industrial might, cultural revolution, and urban resilience. From its heyday as the arsenal of democracy to its current resurgence, Detroit's history reflects the nation's struggles and triumphs. Join me on a journey through the Motor City's turbulent past, where the ashes of decline gave birth to a beacon of hope. As the 20th century unfolded, Detroit's industrial prowess continued to grow, with the city becoming a hub for automobile manufacturing. The Ford Motor Company, founded by Henry Ford in 1903, revolutionized the industry with the introduction of the assembly line in 1913, reducing production time for the Model T from 12 hours to just 2.5 hours. This innovation transformed the manufacturing process, making cars more affordable and accessible to the average American. The impact was profound, with Detroit's population swelling from 286,000 in 1900 to over 1 million by 1920, as workers flocked to the city for jobs in the booming auto industry. The city's cultural landscape also began to shift, as immigrants from Eastern Europe, particularly Poland and Russia, arrived in Detroit, bringing with them their unique traditions and customs. The city's vibrant music scene, which would later give birth to Motown, was influenced by the jazz and blues sounds of African-American migrants from the South. The intersection of these diverse cultural currents created a rich tapestry of artistic expression, with legendary venues like the Greystone Ballroom and the Vanity Ballroom hosting iconic performers such as Duke Ellington and Bessie Smith. As the Roaring Twenties gave way to the Great Depression, Detroit's economy was severely impacted, with unemployment soaring to over 30%. The city's auto industry, once the engine of prosperity, was now a symbol of hardship, as factories laid off workers and families struggled to make ends meet. Yet, even in the midst of economic devastation, Detroit's resilience and determination shone through, as community organizations and civic leaders worked tirelessly to provide support and relief to those affected. The 1930s also saw the rise of labor activism in Detroit, as workers began to organize and demand better wages, working conditions, and benefits. The United Auto Workers (UAW) Union, founded in 1935, played a pivotal role in this movement, with leaders like Walter Reuther and Victor Reuther championing the cause of workers' rights. The infamous Flint sit-down strike of 1936–37, which began at General Motors' Fisher Body Plant in Flint, Michigan, but spread to Detroit's auto plants, marked a turning point in the labor movement. As workers successfully negotiated recognition of their union and improved working conditions. As the United States entered World War II, Detroit once again became a crucial hub for military production, earning its nickname as the Arsenal of Democracy. The city's auto factories were converted to produce tanks, jeeps, and aircraft, with women and minorities playing an increasingly important role in the workforce. The war effort brought new prosperity to Detroit, but also created new challenges, as the city struggled to accommodate the influx of workers and maintain social cohesion in the face of wartime rationing and shortages. In the post-war period, Detroit's economy continued to thrive, with the auto industry driving growth and innovation. The construction of the interstate highway system, which began in the 1950s, further solidified Detroit's position as a hub for transportation and commerce. However, this period of prosperity also saw the seeds of decline sown, as suburbanization and urban flight began to erode the city's tax base and population. The once thriving neighborhoods of Paradise Valley and Black Bottom, which had been hubs for African-American culture and entrepreneurship, were razed to make way for urban renewal projects, displacing thousands of residents and small business owners. As the 1960s dawned, Detroit became a focal point for the civil rights movement, with leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks drawing attention to the city's racial disparities and social injustices. The Algiers Motel incident in 1967, in which 3 African-American men were killed by police during a riot, highlighted the deep-seated tensions between law enforcement and the community. The following year, Detroit played host to a tumultuous Democratic National Convention, which saw clashes between anti-war protesters and police, further straining relations between the city's establishment and its increasingly disillusioned youth. As the tumultuous 1960s drew to a close, Detroit's economic fortunes began to decline, with the auto industry facing increased competition from foreign manufacturers and rising production costs. The city's population, which had peaked at over 1.8 million in 1950, began to dwindle as suburbanization and urban flight accelerated. The once thriving neighborhoods of Detroit, such as Courttown and Eastern Market, fell into disrepair, with abandoned buildings and vacant lots becoming a common sight. In 1970, the United States Census reported that Detroit's population had declined by over 10% in just one decade, a trend that would continue unabated for the next several decades. The city's tax base, which had once been fueled by a thriving manufacturing sector, began to shrink, making it increasingly difficult for municipal leaders to provide basic services such as police and fire protection, sanitation, and education. Despite these challenges, Detroit continued to be a hub for cultural innovation, with the city's music scene giving birth to new genres such as punk rock and techno. The legendary Grand Ballroom, which had hosted iconic acts such as The Who and The Doors in the 1960s, continued to be a focal point for the city's vibrant music scene, with local bands like the Stooges and MC5 drawing large crowds. In 1973, Coleman Young became the first African-American mayor of Detroit, pledging to revitalize the city's economy and restore its former glory. Young's administration implemented a range of initiatives aimed at stimulating economic growth, including the creation of the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation and the establishment of the city's first downtown redevelopment plan. One of the most significant projects undertaken during Young's tenure was the construction of the Renaissance Center, a sprawling complex of office towers, shops, and restaurants located along the Detroit River. Completed in 1977, the Renaissance Center was seen as a symbol of the city's resurgence, with General Motors relocating its world headquarters to the complex and other major corporations following suit. However, despite these efforts, Detroit's economic decline continued unabated, with the city's population falling by another 20% between 1980 and 1990. The auto industry, which had once been the backbone of the local economy, continued to shrink, with plant closures and layoffs becoming a regular occurrence. In 1980, Chrysler, one of the big three automakers, filed for bankruptcy, highlighting the depths of the crisis facing the city's manufacturing sector. As the 1980s drew to a close, Detroit's municipal leaders faced a daunting challenge: how to revitalize a city that seemed to be in irreversible decline. The answer, many believed, lay in downtown redevelopment, with a focus on attracting new businesses, residents, and investment to the city's core. In 1990, the Detroit City Council approved a comprehensive plan for downtown revitalization, which included the creation of a new sports stadium, a riverfront park, and a range of mixed-use developments. As the downtown revitalization plan took shape, a key player emerged in the form of Mike Ilitch, the founder of Little Caesars Pizza and owner of the Detroit Red Wings hockey team. In 1992, Ilitch announced plans to build a new stadium for his team, which would eventually become Comerica Park, located just north of downtown. The project was seen as a major catalyst for the area's redevelopment, with the potential to attract new businesses, residents, and investment to the city. The following year, in 1993, the Detroit City Council approved a plan to create a riverfront park along the Detroit River, which would eventually become known as the Riverwalk. The project was designed to revitalize the city's waterfront, providing a scenic promenade for pedestrians and cyclists, as well as opportunities for commercial development and entertainment. The Riverwalk was seen as a key component of the downtown revitalization plan, with the potential to reconnect the city to its natural assets and provide a unique amenity for residents and visitors. As the 1990s progressed, Detroit's municipal leaders continued to grapple with the challenges facing the city's economy. In 1995, the state of Michigan appointed an emergency financial manager to oversee the city's finances, in response to concerns about Detroit's ability to manage its own budget. The move was seen as a blow to the city's autonomy, but also as a necessary step towards stabilizing its finances and restoring investor confidence. Meanwhile, the auto industry continued to evolve, with significant implications for Detroit's economy. In 1998, Chrysler merged with Daimler-Benz, the German parent company of Mercedes-Benz, in a deal worth $38 billion. The merger was seen as a major coup for Chrysler, which had struggled to remain competitive in the face of intense global competition. However, It also raised concerns about the potential loss of American jobs and the erosion of Detroit's status as a hub for the U.S. auto industry. As the 1990s drew to a close, Detroit's cultural scene continued to thrive, with a new generation of artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs emerging in the city. The Heidelberg Project, a renowned outdoor art installation located on the city's east side, became a major tourist attraction, featuring colorful and often provocative works created from salvaged materials. The project was founded by artist Tyree Guyton, who sought to transform his neighborhood into a vibrant and imaginative space, using art as a tool for social commentary and community engagement. In 2000, the Detroit Institute of Arts, DIA, completed a major renovation and expansion, which added over 60,000 square feet of new gallery space to the museum. The project was seen as a major coup for the city's cultural scene, with the potential to attract new visitors and enhance Detroit's reputation as a hub for art and culture. The DIA's collection includes over 65,000 works of art, spanning from ancient civilizations to contemporary artists, making it one of the premier art museums in the United States. As the 21st century began, Detroit's cultural scene continued to evolve, with a new wave of artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs emerging in the city. In 2001, the Charles H. The museum quickly became a major attraction, drawing visitors from across the country and solidifying Detroit's reputation as a hub for African American heritage. Meanwhile, the city's automotive industry continued to face significant challenges as foreign competition and rising fuel prices took their toll on sales. In 2005, General Motors announced plans to cut 30,000 jobs and close several plants in the United States, including 2 in Michigan. The move was seen as a major blow to Detroit's economy, which had long been reliant on the auto industry for employment and revenue. Despite these challenges, Detroit's downtown area continued to experience a resurgence, with new businesses, restaurants, and residential developments springing up along Woodward Avenue and other key corridors. In 2007, the city completed a major renovation of Campus Martius Park, a public square in the heart of downtown that featured a large fountain, walking paths, and plenty of green space. The park quickly became a popular gathering spot for locals and visitors alike, hosting concerts, festivals, and other events throughout the year. As the 2008 financial crisis took hold, Detroit's economy was hit particularly hard, with high unemployment rates and widespread foreclosures contributing to a sense of despair and desperation in many neighborhoods. However, even in the midst of this crisis, there were signs of hope and resilience in the city. In 2009, a group of local entrepreneurs launched the Eastern Market Corporation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to revitalizing the historic Eastern Market District, which had long been a hub for fresh produce, flowers, and other goods. The Eastern Market Corporation worked tirelessly to restore the market's physical infrastructure, including its iconic sheds and public spaces. The group also launched a range of initiatives aimed at supporting local farmers, artisans, and small business owners, from workshops and training programs to marketing campaigns and special events. As a result, the market began to flourish once again, attracting visitors from across the region and providing a much-needed boost to Detroit's economy. In 2010, the city welcomed a new mayor, Dave Bing, who had risen to fame as a professional basketball player before entering politics. Bing brought a sense of optimism and energy to the mayor's office, pledging to tackle some of Detroit's most pressing challenges, from public safety and education to economic development and infrastructure repair. Under his leadership, the city launched a range of initiatives aimed at revitalizing neighborhoods, supporting small businesses, and improving services for residents. One of the key focus areas for Bing's administration was the city's struggling school system, which had long been plagued by low graduation rates, inadequate funding, and outdated facilities. In 2011, the state of Michigan appointed an emergency manager to oversee the Detroit public schools in an effort to stabilize the district's finances and improve academic performance. The move was controversial, but it ultimately led to a range of reforms and innovations, from new curriculum programs and teacher training initiatives to the creation of charter schools and other alternative education models. As the city continued to evolve and adapt, Detroit's cultural scene remained vibrant and diverse, with a thriving music scene, a rich tradition of visual arts, and a growing community of writers, poets, and performers. In 2012, the city hosted its first ever Detroit Jazz Festival, which featured performances by some of the biggest names in jazz, from Joshua Redman to Pat Metheny. The festival was a huge success, drawing thousands of visitors to downtown Detroit and cementing the city's reputation as a hub for live music and entertainment. The following year, in 2013, the city welcomed a new entrepreneurial venture, Shinola, a luxury watch and bicycle manufacturer that had chosen Detroit as its base of operations. The company's decision was seen as a major coup for the city, which had long been seeking to diversify its economy and attract new businesses and investment. Shinola's founders were drawn to Detroit's rich history, its talented workforce, and its unparalleled manufacturing heritage, and they quickly set about creating a range of high-quality products that would showcase the city's capabilities to the world. As Shinola continued to grow and thrive in Detroit, the company became a symbol of the city's resilience and determination to revitalize its economy. In 2014, the city's bankruptcy crisis came to an end with the approval of a plan to restructure Detroit's debt and invest in key public services. The plan, which was supported by state and federal officials, marked a significant turning point in Detroit's history and paved the way for new investments and initiatives. One of the key areas of focus for the city's revitalization efforts was the redevelopment of its iconic waterfront. In 2015, the city of Detroit announced plans to transform the East Riverfront into a vibrant public space, complete with parks, shops, and restaurants. The project, which was made possible through a combination of public and private funding, aimed to reconnect the city to its natural assets and create a thriving hub of activity. As the waterfront redevelopment project moved forward, other initiatives were also underway to revitalize Detroit's neighborhoods and support local businesses. In 2016, the city launched the Motor City Match program, which provided grants and technical assistance to entrepreneurs and small business owners looking to start or expand their operations in Detroit. The program was designed to foster economic growth and create jobs in underserved communities, and it quickly became a model for other cities across the country. The same year, the Q-Line streetcar system opened in downtown Detroit, providing a new transportation option for residents and visitors alike. The Q-Line, which was made possible through a public-private partnership, ran along Woodward Avenue and connected many of the city's major attractions and entertainment venues. The project was seen as a key step towards revitalizing Detroit's core and creating a more vibrant, pedestrian-friendly environment. As Detroit continued to evolve and grow, its cultural scene also remained thriving. In 2017, the city hosted its first ever African American Film Festival, which featured screenings of films by Black directors and writers from around the world. The festival was organized by a group of local filmmakers and artists who were dedicated to promoting diversity and inclusion in the film industry, and it quickly became an annual tradition. The following year, the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History celebrated its 50th anniversary with a series of exhibitions and events honoring the city's rich cultural heritage. The museum, which was founded in 1965 by Dr. Charles Wright and his wife, had long been a hub for African American history and culture in Detroit, and it continued to play an important role in promoting education and understanding about the Black experience. In 2019, the city of Detroit launched a new initiative aimed at preserving and celebrating its historic neighborhoods. The program, which was called Neighborhoods Day, provided funding and technical assistance to community groups and residents who were working to restore and revitalize their local neighborhoods. The initiative was seen as an important step towards recognizing and preserving Detroit's unique cultural heritage, and it helped to foster a sense of pride and ownership among residents. From its humble beginnings to its current status as a thriving hub of innovation and culture, Detroit has left an indelible mark on American history. The city's struggles and triumphs serve as a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can persevere and flourish. Thank you for joining me throughout this historical journey. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.